Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I, 47 female, and my husband, 53 male, have been married for over 15 years now. And we have 2 children, my stepson, 25 male, whom I would call Jason, and my daughter, 10 female. Jason is married to Mary, 24 female. I met my husband after the death of his first wife. We married after a year of dating, and I moved in with them. I adopted Jason as my son and assisted my husband in paying for Jason's college. We supported him till he got a good job. Jason maintained a close relationship with his mother's family, and I took him to see them during summer and other family gatherings. I also organized play dates with his maternal cousins since they lived about an hour's drive from us. My stepson, all grown up now and getting married, for their wedding gift, my husband and I decided we would sponsor their wedding. My husband paid for 70% of their wedding budget with our shared savings, most of which are my husband's. Before he got engaged, Jason had promised that he will include a father and son dance, a mother, stepmom in my case, and son dance, and a brother and sister dance. He said he wanted us to be a part of his wedding to show how much he loved us. Of course, this did not exclude his dance with his bride and her family. I held a major part in planning their wedding. Mary delegated these duties since she was busy with work. I also helped curate the first wedding list, which included Jason's mother's family and relatives from his fiancee's family. One day, she texted casually saying they had made slight changes to the list and had decided that while a family could RSVP for free, non-family would have to RSVP with a stipulated cash donation. They said it's to help them offset emergency bills. I didn't think it was a great idea, but they insisted. Then I got my official invitation and I was surprised to see that I got the one for non-family members. I called Jason and his fiancée and told them about the mistake, but they said it wasn't. They said I didn't count as a family since I'm just Jason's stepmom. I was stunned at their choice of words and ended the call. I couldn't do much after that day because I felt betrayed. Then things came to a halt when my husband found out that my stepson and his family had made more changes than that. Jason had cancelled the mother and son dance. When my husband questioned him on it, he confessed that he replaced it with a dance with his aunt. According to him, he thinks a dance with his mother's sister is more special since she is his family by blood, and I'm just his dad's wife. The aunt he chose had been a troublesome meddler in my marriage, and although she never contributed financially, or even helped to babysit Jason when he was younger, she was always quick to point out my shortcomings. Somehow, she had gotten chummy with Jason's fiancée and together they succeeded in turning my stepson's mind against me. They had convinced him to see me as a stranger. I couldn't control my tears and I had to retire for the night to avoid embarrassing myself in their presence. My husband argued with Jason till they left the house. Over the weekend, we had another meeting with Jason and his fiancée. I told them I wasn't going to make them change their minds, but I was curious to know, was I ever a bad mother to Jason? He said I wasn't. I asked if I ever hurt him, was cruel, or treated him partially. Again, he said no. Then I said, "Why do you think I'm not family enough for you?" They gave the same excuses and his fiancée said I should stop making a fuss, that I was not related to him. I asked them why they didn't think I was family enough when I was running around planning their engagement party and wedding party, pulling strings to make sure they got their dream wedding. They hung their heads in shame and couldn't say anything. My efforts were not appreciated and I felt used, like I was their glorified maid. Then they turned around and accused me of trying to guilt trip them. They disinvited me and made some malicious comments about me. I decided that I would rather use my time for myself than go to a wedding where I would be treated as an unwelcome stranger. My husband was unhappy with the way Jason handled the meeting. He said it was disrespectful to him too since Jason was calling me a stranger. We decided he would withdraw from paying for the wedding since he would be doing so with our combined savings. The wedding is now over and my stepson and his wife have been complaining to everyone that I ruined their wedding. Since my husband and I bore the major cost, my stepson didn't know his fiancée's huge wedding budget. When he found out we were no longer paying, he called me to berate me, but I shut him off immediately. I told him I didn't feel like being a co-sponsor to a wedding for someone who sees me as a stranger. He whined about not being able to pay, so I told him to cut their coats accordingly and face their new reality. I heard he took a loan and has been finding it difficult to pay it off. My stepson called me an a-hole because of the way his wedding turned out and blamed me for his debts. Am I the a-hole? Update. So Jason called his father to inform him about his loan situation, and he said since the loan is our fault, he expects that we would pay. He said he drew up plans so we could pay in installments. My husband told him that his loan was his business and he should sort it out with his wife. They are both working and he does not have an outstanding student loan or a mortgage. I'm really sorry your stepson broke your heart this way. His behavior and attitude did a whole 180. I wonder if he has always considered you just his father's wife or his wife and aunt. Really did manage to turn him against you. If that's not the case, then he's so easy to manipulate. Either way, I'm glad you and your husband pulled out from helping them with the wedding. You were already doing them a huge favor. And since your stepson has proven to be not worthy of it, then it only makes sense that you will take it back. You're not the a-hole OP. Your stepson and his wife are. Story 2. I won't complicate this. I have a daughter, Kara, who is not my biological daughter, nor was she my legal daughter until she reached the age of 18, when she asked me to adopt her as an adult. I married my husband when she was 14, and together we have 2 children. Kara gets along okay with my husband, but admittedly her upbringing means she was maybe not as able to bond with a father figure as she was with the mother figure, and her age was also a factor. Regardless, everyone gets along, and I think that is the best you expect when you have someone who went through as much as she did at a young age. Kara is engaged and came to me recently and told me she would like to walk with me down the aisle and do a dance with me, while her fiancé dances with his mom. She told me she didn't know how to ask for that without hurting my husband. I told her he would understand and I would be honored to do it. I did not expect my husband and his parents to take offense. They believe she snubbed my husband and is making it seem like he's nothing. After listening to them complain about this for 10 minutes, I told them to suck it up and accept that she asked me, her mom, to do both of those parts of the wedding and that I was proud to do it. I dared to them to tell me I was less deserving than my husband. My husband and his parents believe I wasn't very understanding and downright rude, according to my mother-in-law. Am I the a-hole? Update. So to clarify for people, because I was not clear, my husband is not a father. He is a stepfather through me. I was married before, and she was my stepdaughter who I ended up with custody of but never legally adopted as a minor because her biological mother was alive. She has trauma relating to father figures, 2 prior ones to be exact, so she has never really considered my husband as such. But their relationship has been good considering everything she has been through. I adopted her when she turned 18, not my husband, just me. Adding some more to this, had my husband confided in me that his feelings were hurt, that would be one thing. But he did not. He went to his parents and then all 3 decided to take offense to the fact not only was he not asked, but I was. And while they never came out directly and told me that I should say no, it was implied throughout their complaints. None of which were about his hurt feelings and all about the snub, and how unbelievable it was that I would be filling that role in her wedding. Not the a-hole OP. Understandably, their feelings are upset, especially your husband's, but he should have handled the whole thing in a much better way. It's obvious you and your daughter have a very special relationship, and I think it's adorable and extremely sweet she asked you to walk her down the aisle. Your husband should have understood that she did this because she feels closer to you and wishes to share that moment with you. Even if he's hurt, he should have spoken to you about it, not involving his family. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. I'm guessing he knows that she has had trouble with father figures. He isn't being very considerate of her feelings at all. Plus, even if she did have a good relationship with both her biological mother and father, it's still possible she would want her mom to do those things with her. Being offended that she chose mother instead of father honestly just seems kinda sexist. Not the a-hole. It's her wedding, her special day, and if your husband can't respect her wishes, that makes it quite clear why she would rather have you at her side. He's not supporting her at all, and support is what she's going to want, not someone whining about how they weren't first choice. Because even if she swaps to him to keep the peace, it's pretty likely he will bring up how he wasn't first choice, which is the last thing she will want as she's walking down the aisle. So what you are telling me is he finds his feelings are more important than the feelings and traumas of your adopted daughter for her wedding day. You are the one that clearly deserves that spot. You went through a whole previous marriage. I don't know what happened, but you got custody of her. So you're clearly a badass mom, and obviously you're always there for her when she needs you. Him, he just married you and didn't adopt her. He and his parents want to get caught up over traditions and saving face. Is that more important than her happiness? Tell him I said he can F off with that. Story 3. I'm 20 male, currently living with my mom full-time since my dad is working out of the country. She has a husband and he has 2 daughters from a previous marriage, 12 female and 14 female, and my half-sibling 6 male. My mom's husband is unemployed because he was abruptly terminated. Both of them do gigs here and there while he looks for a job, but they barely bring money to the house. I'm in my 2nd year of university, working and getting money from my dad every month. I've been paying for most of my stuff, clothes, hobbies, phone bill, etc., ever since I was 16. And when I turned 18, I began to pay rent and for my car. My mom's husband and his daughters are big eaters. I don't mind, I just started to buy my own groceries, and they knew they weren't allowed to have any, though I would let my stepsisters take some of my snacks because I get their kids. But ever since 3 or 4 months ago, my mom has been asking me to buy this, buy that, buy this again. And I've been doing their groceries too, so I'm basically paying for all of the food, plus rent, plus driving my stepsister to and from school and among other things. Yesterday we were having dinner together and I remembered I had bought a watermelon a few days ago. It was almost all gone, but I could eat the last of it and it was okay. My stepsister said she wanted some too and I said there was barely anything left and she could have an apple or something. She said she wanted watermelon and I said sorry. My mom's husband said kids go first, but I said kids have been eating watermelon for the past days and it was my turn. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "Put it back, son. You can eat something else." So I just said I'll be eating whatever I want because I'm paying for it. Nobody said anything after that and I took it to my room. Later my mom came and apologized for him, but said that I shouldn't have said anything in front of my sisters and was rude because I was being financially abusing with my family. So I don't know. Now for some comments. You can already smell the abuse from the first paragraph. It gets worse as the story goes. I'm sure it's not just financial as there's labor among other things involved. It might be better for you to just move out as you already pay rent and to get some savings going. Before things get worse, I discovered distance in many cases improves relationships, not the a-hole. I wouldn't be surprised if soon after you move out, your stepdad and mom magically find a job. Do you know if they are even looking for one? Chances are they aren't because you are there to provide. Does your dad know where his money is going and would he approve of it? Move out, cut them off. If your siblings need anything, you can give it to them directly. But don't ever give them money again. They are taking advantage of you and will keep doing so as long as you let them. I do get where you are coming from, but they are financially abusing you, to be honest. You are paying more than your share and it's not your responsibility to feed everyone. Because your mother and stepfather have odd jobs sometimes. It's their job and their responsibility to feed everyone. That you want to contribute X amount is commendable, but once again not your responsibility. You could discuss an X amount of groceries per month for the family and they have to do the rest, as they are supposed to without your contribution. Or even as I say, buy X amount of food for the kids. You can fend for yourselves, but then again that would be me. I would also never let my siblings be hungry. But I would let my parents go hungry if they let me do all the heavy lifting and then gaslight me in this situation.